Hello my friends, I just got done with a meeting regarding the homeless. Here's the video. A lot of activists spoke, and one of the major problems with this anti-storage of property, anti-camping ordinance in Anaheim is that it's selectively enforced, that they will target the homeless people with property, but those that aren't homeless and have property, they leave them alone. So it's obvious discrimination, but here's the video. Please share it and pray we can get a lot of help for the homeless out here. If you'd like to, join my Facebook group, Homeless Advocates for Christ. May God bless you as you seek first His kingdom always. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Your name, if you like.
R.Joshua Collins, and since I only have 2 minutes, try to go fast here, but one major problem with the ordinance is it's selectively enforced. So it's like you're passing a law that says no white shirts in the park, but then you only target certain people with white shirts and deal with them and ticket them and that kind of thing. So that right there makes it a no-go, that law. So also, damage has been done. No shelter was previously offered, so reimbursement is owed to the homeless community. A lot of the homeless have already lost property before that shelter was. Now the mayor at the last meeting said, well, now what we do is we offer this shelter. If they don't take the shelter, we ticket them and then, or whatever. But before that wasn't even an option. So all this damage has been done previously with this law, and that's not even being taken into consideration, and no reimbursements really being given to that community. And the chief has lied. From what Lucille was speaking, not just abandoned property was taken, but property that was not abandoned was taken. And that's the truth, you know, and we got video to prove that. And they should be ticketing criminal activity, not life-sustaining activity. We need to decriminalize poverty. Jesus was homeless, of course, and you know, it's not a crime to be poor, but that's kind of what's happening with this law. So we can do better than bigotry. Just like, and also like Tim's great point, if you have a civil rights panel about African American issues and you have no African Americans up there, does that look good? Or let's say it's Latino issues, you have no Latinos up there. So you need to have homeless people represented up here. You know, I think it would be a lot more effective that way. Someone's done some serious time as a homeless person that really knows what it's like out there. And the no affordable housing and the greed problem is a big issue that also needs to be addressed. I don't believe people should be forced into shelters. If people are homeless and in a park and not committing a crime, why do they need to be forced into a shelter? They're not committing a crime, not hurting anybody. And then you're saying, well, we're going to ticket you, then take you to jail, and then if you don't take this property, or if you don't take this shelter offer. So that's not right for me, to me. So.
That's our panel. So absolutely, please note, folks, take notes, please, and if you'd like to make sure that we address these people. Yes. No. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, did you have your hand up?
Okay, West Jones. Start off with, the city has no permanent supportive housing available, has none coming up. The county has no permanent supportive housing with no coming up. They have put no money in their budget for the future. So now you look at Kramer Shelter, the whole model of Kramer Shelter is to put people in, they get their services, and they move on to permanent supportive housing. There's an 8 to 10 year wait for permanent supportive housing with the county. So I can't really see Kramer as being a rousing success under the model that people are supposed to flow through Kramer. And they're either going to flow through or they're going to go back on the streets. And as far as Anaheim's model, what they do is, right there you got the police department and you got city nets. And that hasn't been working. We need to create some new type of thinking. Ms. Barnes, your area is hit real hard. And you can put all the police you want in there, and all they're going to do is move them from place to place. We need some new type of thinking. Safe zones, something. And the only reason safe zones are being proposed is because nobody's coming up with the money for permanent supportive housing. It's something that you can do cheap. It's money. So I guess there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that are we going to reinvent the wheel? I think that's
Mr. Brown,
isn't
this
the
is-
wheel that was square now?
Just for the sake of time, we're going to ask
Go ahead.
you just, you will have your time.
Go ahead,
I assure you. You have 3 months of time to do this. Mr. Noble.
Justice management. My activity here is because criminalization of the homeless has not worked. We have suppressed them. Even from policemen themselves say law enforcement is not the answer, but that's their job to obey by this ordinance, which some of the police out there are not looking at that. They put it aside like our constitutional rights. So these people are being oppressed. That's why we have so many mental illness. That's why we have drug addiction out there, because there are people that are most in harm are the women, the elderly, and the disabled that are out there, because they're being not only preyed upon by pimps or drug addicts, but now by law enforcement, which will, I mean, there are some police out there that do try to help, but there are those that don't, that they abuse that ordinance. And you could read me the ordinance, and I'm saying, unless you're out there watching them, they're not gonna obey by that. So, you know, laws, it's better to have more compassion, because these people are human beings. And when I talk to them, they could be reversed to society, but we need housing. We need that opportunity that we could give them. A lot of people that have come out of the jail cannot get jobs, and they feel like, some of them have even told me, I'm ready to commit a crime just to go back in there because it's worse out here. But this is the only thing that I advocate for, and that's why I want to repeal at least that confiscation and abuse of power that the police have out there. I mean, we already have laws out there that you cannot pinch a tent in a park unless you're a carnival or you pay for it. And, you know, just by sitting in the park, you can't criminalize some people. So that's all I have to say. And I have to actually run right now because the Orange Police I don't know if this is true or not, so I have to check it out. But in that part of Lincoln, and which is not the safe zone, from Lincoln to Ball, some people have been living there for a long time, and they have been actually told to move out by security, and now the Orange Police might be there, which public works have told us that they're not.
So Mr. Noble, you said you heard it, so if it is confirmed, can you please let us know?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to be confirming right
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you.
Next.
If you want an update on
Sean?
that,
No, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, because in the interest of time, I'm just gonna ask folks who.
there's additional time going on for them to move out. I talked to Pastor Donald this morning, and tomorrow I'll be going up and getting a trailer and we'll start moving people out. So.
Thank you, Mr. Next speaker, Ms. Ramos.
I just want to say that I'm so happy that this working advisory board has been formed. I think everybody who's sitting up there, but I have very high expectations of all of you too. So, but I am very happy that we've reached this point. So thank you.
Okay. Who else? Yes, Mr. Hunt.
Well, I'd like to hand out, I'm gonna hand out for the group. I heard the time's kind of short, so.
Tim, you can just give those to Jackie, and Jackie.
Okay.
We'll make sure to get those.
Anyways, I heard it mentioned about the ordinance, and Anyway, I'm wondering if this is something that needs to be put into the citizen participation plan. I recommend that you guys have a calendar so that I can look and see if there's something going on in another district. It happens to be a town hall meeting or something like that, that I could see that, and other advocates or whatever could go there and attend that meeting. So I'd like to see that. More citizen participation. Also, I brought up the fact in the Community Housing and Community Development Commission the other last week, and I asked if there would be what type of funding would be contingent if federal funding in the form of ESGs and home and CDBGs were to be cut back drastically. What would happen to CHIP and HAP? And so I would put it to this panel here to find ways that it could be continued, that the program could stay alive, and rather than become a past pilot program, become a program of the future, or two programs of the future. Either it be through public, public funds or corporate sponsorship, either way. I also would like to see that maybe you guys might want to have figure out some topics, and each time you have a meeting, then we could bring a couple speakers to talk on that particular subject. And that's about it. I mean, I got other stuff, but I'm willing to listen to what other people have to say as well.
Tim, just really quick clarity. The federal programs you mentioned?
Yeah.
The CDBG and
Well, it's ESG,
ESG, and CDBG.
and home and CDBG.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I also want to thank you all for doing this and taking your time to do it. This is the most important issue that we have in our time and in our region right here. The more growth we have and success in the business community here in Anaheim, the tourist community, the greater that grows and the more success, so grows our problem. If you look at the trends, which we all look at trends, you can see the difference year over year for the past 10 years. What we have to do is find a way to use that success to solve this problem. The answers are here. We just have to put the resources together. I don't look at homelessness as homeless. I look at it as resourceless. These folks are resourceless. It's not just homes they need many other things. And what I ask you to do when you scan out there in the universe and you look at the resources, because your jobs, I believe, as elected officials, are to find the resources and deploy them against the issue. So I ask you and I urge you to, one, include the business community. Ask the business community to help you. We have the ability to run quicker, faster, from private sources to solve this problem and marshal those resources quicker than you can, in concert with your rules and regulations. Call the college professors, graduate students, etc., from our local schools and the medical community, doctors, psychologists, and that. We'd like to see some of those folks on this panel as well, because as we know, mental illness is a huge part of this. Also, break yourself up into smaller working groups and pepper in some of the business community, etc., so that we can help you offline bring answers and then bring them back to the full board. The answer is out there. We're very grateful as citizens for your guys' sacrifices that you're going to make to help those that can't help themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anyone else would like to speak? Yes.
I do, Kevin Carr. I've heard a lot of great comments, and I'm sure not everybody had a chance to take notes. So is there an email email box set up to where these comments can be sent to, so that way everybody could have that note for them?
At the conclusion of the meeting, we will have tape of everything that transpired today, and it will be available on the website under major initiatives, homeless, right-hand corner.
This is a song I wrote. I've been over 10 years on the streets with the homeless as part of my missionary work, you could say, for the Lord. So, yeah, I know firsthand knowledge what it's like to be homeless and to experience the police harassment, police arrests, jail, all that, you know. So This song is dear to my heart. The homeless are dear to my heart. I am thankfully, I'm in a church now as a worship leader and have somewhere to go now, but for years that wasn't so, and but God opened that door for me recently. So I thank God for that, but still, I'm always thinking about the homeless and trying to defend their rights and be there for them. So anyways, this song is about two homeless people that I'm sure some of you can relate to. And I'll go ahead and start the song. It's called Jesus Holds Me. It's also on YouTube. Thank you. Oh, also, if you want, you can join my Facebook group, Homeless Advocates for Christ. And I also have a YouTube channel. It's just R.Joshua Collins. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start this song. He had a backpack on his back, just got up from the railroad track. You know, it's been a hard life on the road, just laid off, nowhere to go. He said, I don't have the American dream, no fancy cars, but Jesus holds me, and I know what lies ahead of me, 'cause heaven knows I love the Lord. The police were looking down at the poor woman sleeping on the ground. They said, you can't be sleeping here, no trespassing. She shed a tear, she said, I don't have the American dream, no fancy cars, but Jesus holds me, and I know what lies ahead of me, 'cause heaven knows I love the Lord. The poor ones finally died, both caught up to Abraham's side. So glad to be free from the greedy of earth, who loved her money. They said, I don't have the American dream, no fancy cars, but Jesus holds me, and I know what lies ahead of me, 'cause heaven knows I love the Lord.
Thank you, Joshua.
My pleasure. Love you too.
Okay, quickly.
Okay, folks, one more time, this is the 10-year plan for ending homelessness in Orange County, and it's adopted over